Are you cycling into flow? Do you understand the flow cycle and that there are 4 elements that you need to go through to be able to get into flow and to get out of flow? And so that's what we're going to look at here on this video. So hi, I'm Lucy. I'm a holistic flow coach and mentor. The very first thing to understand is that before you get into that wonderful flow state where time just disappears and you feel fantastic and you're really on task and you know that you're going to get your best work done, there are a couple of other phases that you have to go through and you have to be aware of. The very first one is the struggle phase. And this is the one where we can actually stop ourselves getting into flow, because if you're going through the struggle of trying to work something out, perhaps you're working on a project and you can't really work out how to do something or to put something together, the ideas aren't coming to you just yet, and it's a real struggle. And so you go, oh, I'm just going to look at a website. I'm just going to check my phone. I'm just going to fill in the gap, whatever you do. And what you've done is you have stopped the struggle. Now, you might think that's good, but actually it's not. It's not what you want to be doing. If you want to get into that flow state, you need to be pushing through the struggle. Push through the struggle until you get to the next stage. The one caveat to this is if it's taken too long in the struggle phase, go out for a walk, go out for something that is refreshing for you, go and do some stretching, go and do some breathing, and then come back to where you left off. But don't go and get distracted with something else like a website or your phone or another device. So once you push through that struggle, there will be the second phase, which you really don't notice, but it happens, and that's the release. That's when everything becomes easier and you think, oh, I've got it. I understand it. I know what that word is going to be. I know what that next slide is going to be. I know how to do that now. I've found the person I need to speak to. That is the relief. And alpha brain waves and nitric acid are released in that release phase. And you get into that beautiful flow state that you're looking for. And when you do that, you know how that feels. That feels so good. You've got theta, you've got gamma brain waves, you've got dopamine, endorphins, you've got anandamide, and everything flows. And like I said, time just either expands or contracts. There's this amazing thing that happens when you're in flow. And you are so focused, you get so much done. And that's what we're looking for when we're getting into flow, is to reach our peak performance in those moments, in those hours that we are in that flow state. Now, the fourth phase of the flow cycle is recovery. Now, recovery is also really important. And if you can stop your flow state when you're still feeling in flow, when you're still flowing, perhaps you've done 2 hours work or 2.5 hours work, and you're still really flowing, you're not going to want to go over 3 hours. So if you've got that and you're at a peak, then stop. However good that's feeling, stop it. And you need to go into the recovery stage. And that recovery stage will mean that your brain goes into delta brain waves. You get serotonin and you get oxytocin. And you recover and you stop doing. Now, the reason for stopping doing it when you're still feeling in the flow is because when you go back to that project, you go back feeling good, because you stopped it feeling really good. Whereas if you've got to the end of your flow and you're back into a struggle, you don't really want to go back there again. But it's much easier to pick up on that thing that you were doing, that presentation, that writing, whatever it was, if it felt good when you stopped doing it, you're like, oh yeah, I remember I was just in the middle of doing that, and you can much more easily go through the struggle to get back into the release, to get back into the flow state in your next flow block. And so those are the 4 stages, and you must go through all of them to get the benefits, to feel the best, and to get your best, and to reach that peak performance. So there'll be another video coming up on screen. I'm going to see you over there. Have the most awesome day and let it flow. Take care.